Hey guys, today I'm out here to take you to a place I've never been to before. So there's this tourist attraction in Arizona called Rock Art Ranch. And as you may know, I'm not super into rock art. I don't hate it, but I also don't get really excited about it the way I do pottery. So I've never been there before. But then somebody contacted me and told me that they have a great pottery collection. Well, that got my interest. So today I'm out here at Rock Art Ranch, and I thought I'd bring you along with me. We'll look at the pottery, but we'll also look at the rock art and the ruins and maybe talk to the owner and see what's going on out here. So come along with me, should be fun. At the ranch headquarters is a little museum. And there's a lot of different things here. There's petrified wood, there's a lot about ranching history, which of course I didn't film any of, but also a lot of pottery, especially for a place called Rock Art Ranch. It doesn't really give any clues about the pottery. Now, having visited the sites, and I will show you the ruins on this ranch, I don't think all these pots came from these ruins. I think these were purchased from or donated by maybe local pot hunters or something, or maybe some of the families dug them elsewhere. See, back in the day, it was real common for these ranching families to go out on the weekends and dig pots up for entertainment. I don't know how this collection came to be, but I'm pretty sure it didn't all come from this ranch. There are a lot of beautiful pots here, though, and most of them are either Cibola whitewares or White Mountain redwares. We've got a lot of like Reserve Tularosa, which tells us like 10, 1100s into the 1200s. We've also got a lot of St. John's black on red, St. John's polychrome, little Wingate black on red, which again tells us, 1100s, 1200s, nothing really later than 1300. There are one or two pots here that date later than 1300, but those obviously don't fit the rest of the collection. They're obviously from somewhere else, like I think a lot of this collection actually is. One of the things I really liked about photographing this collection is that there was no glass or plexiglass between you and the pots. So a lot of times when I go to museums, I try to photograph pots, I get a lot of glare from the glass. And in this case, there was nothing between me and the pottery, so I got some really great pictures without glare, for once. And of course corrugated. I didn't mention corrugated, but once we get out to the ruins on this ranch, I'll show you, there's a lot of corrugated in this area. Corrugated was just the workhorse pottery. It was just everyday utilitarian ware. So once I finished looking at the museum, it was time to hit the road out on those old back ranch roads looking for the rock art part of the ranch. This is what most people come here for. Not me, but most people. All right, so this canyon is what gave Rock Art Ranch its name. This canyon is just loaded with rock art. Apparently, this is Chevelon Creek, and it has water year-round. And this is one of the only places where you can get down to the water because of these steep rock walls all along this canyon. And so it's a place where people would naturally come and kind of congregate because you can get water for drinking or cooking or whatever you're doing with it. Obviously, it was an important area, and there's rock art on both sides of this canyon wall, up and down the canyon. Also, I thought it was interesting that they've dated some of this, and most of this rock art, they say, is really old, older than Pueblo people, older than agricultural living. These were probably like early hunter-gatherers who were coming in here to get water and were carving a lot of these designs. And if you look at the patina, this sandstone has like a dark patina. That's actually manganese accumulating on the outside of that sandstone. And they'll peck through it. When you first peck through that patina, you get a real bright kind of white color, right? But the longer it stays there, the longer that petroglyph exists, the more patina kind of grows in the petroglyph. So when you see some of these that are very dark, almost a very dark gray color, or almost the color of the patina around them, that tells you that they're probably very, very old. So the fresher they are, the brighter, the crisper they are, the newer they are. All right, this is a pit house that's been excavated, apparently, And so I'm going to check it out. There's a whole bunch of pottery sherds that are placed around the edge of it. So we're going to look at the pit house, look at some of the pottery that's been found here. So what you can see here is people have found all this pottery and they apparently just thrown it up along the edge of this pit house because there's just everything's right here. Look at that, corrugated. You got black on white. You got McDonald corrugated. That's a painted corrugated type. Lots and lots of corrugated. And a fair amount of black on white. Not much black on red here, a little bit. You can see a couple of sherds. Now, do you think that some of this pottery could have been, because you said the other place they'd kind of seeded it. Do you think some of this could be that way too? Mm-hmm. Because like the black on reds, those would be later. Those would be 1200s. And by 1200s, you'd think they wouldn't be living in pit houses. Yeah. You see? So it might not all be from here, from this particular ruin. But you can see there's a lot of really nice ones. Look at this one here. See, it's like a crossword puzzle. 7 up. You haven't got the answer? Who's got the clues for these? 3 across. If I was dating it based on the pottery here, I'd throw out these redware because they don't belong, yep. You know. Yep. But really, given that it's a pit house, maybe a lot of this pottery doesn't belong, you know, mm-hmm. Because like the kind of black on white they were making during the pit house phase was pretty crude, and some of this is a little more advanced. So, and I don't even know the date on McDonald corrugated. That's a big old piece, though. Look at that. And so you can see in this pit house, they have these stone slabs around the edges, and look how they used that little pieces of rebar to hold them in place. You wouldn't think they'd have been using that in those days, but goes to show it's nice to have a steel shop nearby where you can get that kind of stuff. Look at that. That is tight. That is so tight. Look at that. That kind of corrugation is so hard to do. That's insane. That's all polished and smudged on the inside. That is a fine, fine piece. So again, look at the hatching on that. It's just off the chart. Alrighty. Cool spot. All right, here's another spot. We didn't come very far from the pit house, and this is an excavation that was done by, I don't know, like maybe the University of Arizona or something. And they built a little shed over these Pueblo ruins. And you can see in here that it's real dark in here, but you can see there's walls. It's actually a little pueblo. That right there, that's wall fall. That's where a wall, after it was abandoned, fell over. So there's probably a room under it, but we can't see it because, that's the wall that had stood next to it. You can see the kind of stonework they were doing right there. Look at that, real fine, like tabular sandstone laid up, real nice. And so under this little roof, we've got places where archaeologists have worked, little holes. We've got piles of sherds. A lot of those sherds are decorated too, very nice, or corrugated. We've got some metates. There's another metate over here. It's a very interesting spot where they dug, I don't know, some time back. It was some years back when this was excavated. But it's all got a roof over it, so it's protected from erosion now. I'll show you some of the pottery here. We'll crawl out here on my hands and knees, and we will look at a couple of these sherds. Look at this. There's redware. Okay, so this is real typical of White Mountain redware. We've got red on the surface. It's a slip because if we turn it sideways, we see that the pot was made out of a gray clay, light colored firing clay, and it's a jar because the inside is not slipped. The outside has a thick coat of orange slip and some black mineral paint on it. There's a nice piece of black on white. There's a lot of black on white here. There's not so much of the redware because this is probably fairly early for that. You almost never see any polychrome ruins like this. Lots of really nice corrugated, lots of corrugated. I mean, really half the pottery here is corrugated. That's a rim. See, that's the rim, and then you can see the corrugations start right there. A large corrugated jar. Nice stuff. Lots and lots of pottery here. And you can date the site by the pottery. I'm not super familiar with this area to say, but the fact that there is no polychrome, the fact that there's very little redware, that tells you something about the date. And if you look out, they're just sherds as far as you can see out there, just all scattered around this hilltop. So I got the tour of Rock Art Ranch, got to see all the pottery and all the ruins and of course the rock art. But I was supposed to do an interview with the owner, and that never materialized. Waited around, for an hour or two for him to show up, and I don't know, but he's a really old guy. He's like 90 years old or something, so he probably needed a nap. I certainly would if I was his age, out there working on a ranch. So I didn't quite get everything I was looking for, but I saw the important things, and that was the pottery, the sherds, the rock art. It was an amazing place. Now you can see I'm not in the same location. So after that, I came up to the Mogollon Rim. I'm gonna camp out for a few days and look for clay. So my next video is gonna be camping here on the Mogollon Rim, searching for clays in this area. So don't miss that. And that video starts right now. Hey guys, I'm camping up on the Mogollon Rim. In the ancient times, this was a hotbed for pottery production. A lot of really beautiful and amazing pottery was being made right in this area. And so this week, I'm camping out up here and searching for those clays.